Now, Real Madrid are a team that have struggled insanely at times since, of course, Zinedine Zidane left, that amazing team that won the Champions League 3 years in a row. But there are some serious reasons to that. One of them being just the general team chemistry that Real Madrid have had over the last few seasons. Of course, they've lost some massive players like Ronaldo, Modric, Cruz, Ramos, just to name a few. And then also the consistent managerial and system changes. It also doesn't help when players are literally scrapping each other in the dressing room and at team trainings. But Florentino Pérez made sure that there was going to be a plan for this summer, and my God, has it came to action. They've appointed José Mourinho, one of Florentino Pérez's promises, as the new manager, replacing Arbeloa, and then made incredible signings on paper. You'll realise that in the video. They've signed players such as Diomande, Cucurella, Konate, Dumfries, Bernardo Silva, and potentially Rodri. But it's not confirmed yet. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, as City will want to keep on to him, but I guess we'll see. Time will tell. But why do I know that this Real Madrid team is going to flop massively? I'll start off with Perez, and to be honest, I'm actually anti-Perez. Whoever he appoints as manager since Zidane, since that team, has just been a completely wrong appointment. A lot of players they've signed have not worked out. But I know Real Madrid fans actually love him. And sometimes it's a mixed reception with Florentino Pérez. But of course, he did win the votes this summer. I would have actually personally voted for the other guy. Also, this opinion is coming from a United fan. So I have seen Mourinho manage my club. Mourinho was amazing at clubs. Especially, ones like Chelsea and Inter Milan. But I feel like in a way football has outgrown him. He is an older manager, and the last 10 years he's sort of created teams that can be good for maybe a season or two, but ends up spiralling. Something ends up happening, he ends up leaving, and there's a bigger mess than when he started. I witnessed that especially at United. We won the Europa League in his first season. That was decent, but we end up 6th. He signed some players like Lukaku that clearly just weren't good for the dressing room. He ended up leaving, getting sacked, and there was a bigger mess than before. When he leaves them, the team has to completely rebuild, and I've seen that with Ole. Ole, of course, had an amazing start with United, but as a manager, it was not easy for him at all stepping into that dressing room, stepping into that atmosphere, and stepping into that system that was just so outdated. I feel like what Real Madrid need is a much younger manager. Maybe not necessarily a seriously young manager. Someone who can create their own system, have a fresh, modern way of playing football. And Mourinho is, in my opinion, a backward signing. He's someone that's going to maybe be there for a few seasons max. I get the thinking. I get Mourinho, he's proven. He's got a long CV, and he probably will get results in his first season. But even though there's more risk maybe getting someone a bit less unproven, would you rather have a younger and fresh manager with more risk, but if it works, he's going to be there for over a decade? Or would you rather have someone like Mourinho, someone who's quite an egotistical manager who might get results for the first year or two, and then it will just spiral? All it's doing is hiding the much bigger problems that Real Madrid currently have at the club. Obviously, I'm not saying that they're in, deep crap or anything but there are still problems and there are still stuff they need to sort out, and I think this just hides it. But I think I've waffled about big boy Jose a bit too much, so I'll move on to the players. Now, I do actually think Cucurella is a really, really good signing. Obviously he's Spanish, so he knows the language. He's played in La Liga and played pretty well. Played for Barcelona, obviously, and another team I cannot remember off the top of my head. I mean, me personally, I don't like him at all. I mean, I couldn't think of a player I dislike more. But I have to admit, if he's on your team, if he's on your side, then you would absolutely love him. He's defensively very good at times. He's also a great character for the dressing room. I just don't like him because I think he's an idiot. Rodri as well, I don't really need to speak about him too much, but I think if they did sign him, it's basically same as Cucurella. Spanish, has played in La Liga well. I think he can instill a bit of control in that midfield. I think Real Madrid fans are really, really praying that they get him, and they should be. Diomande too, I can't really comment on him too much just because I haven't actually watched much of Bundesliga last season, but I've heard very, very good things. I think he's going to be Real Madrid's most expensive signing ever, so there's a lot of risk, but at the end of the day, I think these are the type of profiles that Real Madrid need to go for, so hopefully it works out for them. But yeah, haven't watched too much of the geezer. Now, we have the others. Starting off with 31-year-old Bernardo Silva. I don't think he's been amazing for City the last few seasons. Obviously, he is 31. I just don't see the point of the signing when you have players who play in that winger and attacking midfielder role, such as Gallagher and Brahim, who actually probably deserve minutes, especially Gallagher. I don't understand. I think his quality. Stop signing players to replace him. Stop signing players that are going to get ahead of him. And now on to Konaté. And all I'm thinking is, how has he done that? How has he done that? Him moving to Real Madrid is basically the level of me winning the lottery. It's just insane. I think Konaté himself relies a lot on sort of stability around him in the defence, and we saw that last year. Obviously, Liverpool's defence for years has been amazing with Van Dijk. Lost Trent last season as well, actually, to Real Madrid, and Robbo got replaced by Kirkes, and to be honest, he just crumbled. He crumbled like a digestive. I just think if you can't do it next to Van Dijk, he's not anywhere good enough. He just isn't. Now, Dumfries as the last signing, and I actually don't think he's necessarily a bad signing. I think he can be a better version of Trent, but my issue is literally what I just said. He's the exact same version as Trent. They're both attacking wing backs. They're both defensively poor at times, hence why Dumfries plays in actually a back five with Inter. Now again, I do not think he's a bad signing. I would love him at United, but I don't understand if Trent hasn't worked out. Obviously, he's had some injuries, but he hasn't been amazing for Real Madrid. I think they should have gone for a different profile. Definitely someone younger and more a defensive-minded right back. But that's just me. Unfortunately, I'm not a Real Madrid manager, so I don't really have a decision in that. But other than Diomande, Cucurella, maybe Dumfries, yet to see, and maybe Rodri if they sign him, every other appointment, as whether it was a player or a manager, is just so underwhelming for me. Plus, I also think they have way too many big name options in their side. I think it's just going to bubble over a little bit, and maybe some of those players will ego challenge Mourinho. I actually hope I see that. That would actually be quite funny. It's just a step in the wrong direction for me.